FORZA JUVE! FORZA JUVE! FORZA JUVE! JUVE! Juventus! 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 To beat Man City! Juventus! Juventus! Manchester City without Gleason, motherfucking Bremer at the back. The best defensive center back in Calcio today. Without him, Juventus still defeat City. Gatti, 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 Gatti. They want to get rid of Gatti. FORZA Gatti, he finds a way to get involved even in the attack. This guy, he even had a clear header or something against Man City. He scored against Sporting in the Europe, but I think he scored against Sevilla too. So yeah, Federico Gatti, man. Kalulu from Milan. I mean, Juventus got the clean sheet. It doesn't look like their defense is really taking a big hit, even when Gleason Bremer left. But I think Man City, are they really this bad without one player? Sure, they're much weaker in winning the ball back, and I get it that Rogi plays these passes so quickly to the wings. He doesn't just pass it to the other guy, and then the other guy passes it to the wing. No, Rodri passes it straight to the wing, and it gives City a clear advantage in their build-up. And right as the opponent loses the ball, a second or two later, Rodri is playing a beautiful quick pass over to the wing, and suddenly the team with the ball has not regained their shape defensively. Rodri plays a quick pass, and City that's what makes them dangerous. That one short pass by Kovacic and company before they play out to the wings just kind of slows the transition of play a little bit for Man City. It's hilarious because I was watching the game yesterday, and I was obviously watching halftime, right? The halftime commentators are like, Man City were the much better team. They should have done more in the first half and all this. And I'm sure they're talking about Haaland's missed header, but what about the big chance by Judes in minute 22? They're going to ignore that Juventus had a big opportunity to jump ahead. Juventus let Man City keep the ball. Juventus let Man City keep the ball. They let Man City have the ball. That's 66% possession. Blah, 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 blah. At the end of the first half, Juventus had the same amount of shots as Man City, and Juventus only had 33 or 34% possession in the first half. So is that really dominating? Juventus just let Man City have the ball. They did not allow Man City any space. Man City have looked very lost. Even when Juventus had the ball in the fewest amount of time they had, because Man City had most of the possession, Juventus still had the same amount of shots. They had the same amount of shots on target. Juventus had more shots on target throughout the entire game. Man City are much weaker at the back. So, the way Man City are playing, you think a big club like Juventus was not going to take advantage, but they're smart enough to not let Man City go out in transition and play it very tight. But they were not playing for a draw. They went out to win the game, and they did. 53rd minute, they wanted to exploit Man City's defense. They did. Got you at the big header, and then it was Vlahovic there. I mean, you got to be quick to react. I get it. Emerson made a big error, but Vlahovic got over whoever was on him, Ruben Diaz or whoever it was, Garcia, whoever it was. They didn't have many other big chances in the game, did they? I think Man City knows something's about to go down. This is the only explanation. I know people are going to say that they're old, they've lost motivation, their legs are slow, and they play a lot of fixtures. So, because it wasn't just terrible year. Man City played lots of fixtures, even when they had uh, the domestic the domestic triple. So the domestic triple. One year they won FA Cup and Premier League and English Carabao EFL Cup. So the fixtures uh, do add up a little bit. It's not just the Champions League, but it's also the years where they've played every match domestically in the EFL, in the FA Cup, and the Premier League. They're old, but this is a very deep squad. You should be able to still be winning matches. You should not be losing as often with the way you're losing right now, unless if you know something big is happening to where it doesn't matter what league position you're in. If you're competing for the championship, it doesn't matter. Even if you're competing for the championship, you're still getting relegated. So Man City have lost the motivation. They know something is about to go down. City are getting relegated due to financial fraud. They inflate their sponsorship deals, and other entities are contributing to the club revenue. That's kind of how they've been able to circumvent financial fair play rules of the Premier League. Other entities in the Abu Dhabi ownership are pumping money into the club. You want 2 or 3 world-class players. Every position in Man City on their own cannot produce the revenue because where is the fans? Where is the supporters? Speaking about fans, City fans wanted to leave early. Give me a break. The 2-0 comeback against Aston Villa to win the Premier League championship, and you're down 2-0. You want to leave early? Please. It's in times of crisis that reveals the character of the fan rooting for that same team that was dominant. Because Juventus were dominant in Europe. Juventus have won Scudetti. They've been spoiled with Coppa Italia. Yeah, they're going the Arsenal route. I get it. But these are times as a fan of Man City where you need to show some character. You need to man up and stay through the whole match and don't try to leave early. Okay, you know what happened when they tried to leave early? The PA at the Juventus Stadium. No, you must be seated back. You're not leaving early. You're going to continue to watch the dominance of Juventus FC. I think Juventus did dominate Man City. And these are my thoughts on Man City. For Juventus, you got to do better in the Campionato. Coming back against Inter, 2-4, the draw 4-4 is not good enough. Coming back to beat Red Bull Leipzig away at Germany after Bremer's ACL injury, down a red card to come back from 2-1 to win 3-2. It's not good enough. And a young squad is going to go through inconsistencies. They still got an away result at Aston Villa. There was a very big chance that was brilliantly saved there by Emiliano Martinez. The draw against Milan, the draw at the San Siro, the draw against Inter at the San Siro. This young team is getting results away, but more cutting edge in front of the net is needed. Is this Massimiliano Allegri's fault? Is it a continuation of Allegri that Juventus have to mold out of Allegri? Juventus is always going to be a defensive club. It doesn't matter who you have as the manager. With Mauricio Sarri, they're still very defensive. You're not going to take away the defensive identity of Juventus. But there are times in the match where you must go out and press your opponent the way that Thiago Motta wants to do. Are they worried about the injuries? Is this why Juventus don't want to press? Are they worried about the physios and the injuries? I think so. They don't want to have any more injuries sustained, but I think the team is going to be healthier during the second half of the year. With the fully fit squad, we will see more pressing from Juventus to win quick possession, to inflict their will on the opponent. But still, there are certain times in the game where Juventus is not the fastest team. They're going to settle, play a little block, play very defensive, because you're not going to press the whole game, are you? You're not going to press the whole game. I hope from what I see right now, they just don't want to sustain any more injuries. That Mota is going to press more when Juventus get healthy. Consecao is good, but he's a little selfish with the ball, but I like him. He's great. Yildiz, he's good in the center position like Dybala. He's a very promising young player. He had a pretty big shot there in the 19th minute. I think he had another big shot in the 32nd minute too against Man City. He's very good. McKennie, he's produced great with Allegri. Last year, you know what you're getting with Allegri. Oh, people hate on him because he's an American, but McKennie's played very good for Juventus right now. And Kalulu was Milan's loss. He was with Milan. He was a young project, but Milan get rid of him. He's playing very well with Juventus. So Kalulu was Milan's a big loss right there. And again, Gatti was considered to be sold in the transfer market, but Gatti stays and Bremer gets hurt, and Gatti is playing very well, contributing to Juventus FC. He's playing in Serie D, and he was laying the blocks down outside of playing for Juventus, and he's done very well so far with Juve. But this is Mota's got this match here. It's not a very big bragging right to beat Man City nowadays. Chelsea got result against them. Feyenoord came back from 3-0 to beat them, to tie 3-3. Sporting beat them 4-1. It's not a magnificent win over City, but this is what a big club does. They defend their home turf, and they beat a man while he's down without bragging about it. This is what Juventus did against Man City. Now, Man City is 0-3 against Juventus in Champions League. Juventus beat them. The late goal there, I think, by Morata there. The only goal they scored against Juventus in 2015 was an own goal by Chiellini. Then Mandzukic scored. Juventus beat them 1-0 the last group match, and now Juventus beat them at home 2-0. Juventus to beat them. If a scheduling Juventus against Man City, because Juventus got relegated in their history because of the whole intercacciapoli, all this nonsense, all this political stuff happening 2 decades ago. Man City face off against Juventus, who got relegated. Is Man City going to get relegated too? These players know something is happening. I don't believe anybody for a second who wants to say that nothing is happening. Of course, why did Pep Guardiola sign the extension? I thought he'd be smart to not sign the extension. I don't know why he signed the extension. Maybe he thinks these people can be bought or something in the courts investigating this case. But Guardiola can obviously leave anytime he wants to. It's not an obligation for him to stay. The Campionato, no losses, but 9 draws. Is not good enough. 24 goals in 15 matches. Juventus have to do more. I'm not blaming injuries, but other ultras are blaming injuries. Lazio and Fiorentina. Fiorentina only 1 loss in 14 matches. Is that going to continue all year? Fiorentina ahead by 4 points, and Juventus have played one more match. The one match against Inter was suspended, but Fiorentina, are they going to beat Inter at San Siro? I highly doubt it. But Juventus did Fiorentina twice. I think one time in late December, another time in the spring. So clearly for Juventus, with Atalanta and Napoli and Inter in the Scudetto race, you have to go all in on the 4th spot. You have to beat Fiorentina twice. You have to hope Lazio slip up against Inter. They are ahead by 4 points. You have to beat Lazio at Rome later in the year. You have to hope Lazio slip up and they don't beat Napoli the next time around. And you have to take care of your opponents. All this, a very hard battle to even qualify for Champions League. But when the squad is healthy, Juventus should go on a big winning run. Venezia, you have to beat Venezia. You will defeat Venezia. Monza are in the relegation. You have to defeat Monza. The Fiorentina match you have to win December 29th. That is at the Allianz. You have to win that. You can't let Moise Kean score against you, and Moise Kean done nothing for Juventus. The Torino derby after the Supercoppa. Torino at Torino, you have to beat Torino. And then the real test for Juventus, I think, Atalanta January the 14th and Milan on January the 19th. In Napoli on January the 26th. Already, Juventus have to come away with, I think, 6 points at least in these 3 matches against Atalanta, in Milan, and Napoli in January. So we will find out for sure. Would Juventus stay in the top 4? Hopefully they get healthy. They continue to be solid defensively, but producing more quality up front. I'm not asking to score 3, 4, 5 goals, however many goals. Just get your 2 goals a game for Juventus. If a opponent concedes, you're not doing with the 1-1 draw. You have the 2-1 victory. You have the 2-0 clean sheet. Juventus always prides itself in the clean sheet, but the 2 goals is a safeguard against drawing 1-1. But this is my message for the club, and the Red Bull Leipzig was supposed to be the rallying point. Inter was supposed to be the rallying point. Man City is supposed to be the rallying point. Everybody's been beating Man City nowadays. It's not a big accomplishment to beat Man City, but I hope that you beat world-class players like that when you're a young team, that you can step up your game against these other teams that you know you should be able to beat. You can't concede in 90th minute against Lecce and not do anything else the rest of the game. So a point well taken. We have to come through and finish strong and go on a big winning run. This big winning run to make top 4. To do that through an entire season, not selling for draws. This big winning run to qualifying for the top 4. Juventus is going to set everyone else on notice that they're here for the Scudetto and the Campionato next year. Forza Juve, Forza Juve, Forza Juve. Ciao, Bella. Ciao, Bella. Bye. Adios. Ciao.